So the year, as we know, is 2024. And I was reading and thinking about time this year and how most of 2024 I can't recollect. I was thinking that my mother had been gone for 3 years, and I realized that it will be 4 in February. And 14 on my, almost 15 on my dad. And time is something that a lot of adults and kids see differences of. For comparison, if we were Clark Griswold in the Christmas movie, looking back at our family photos, his were in 1955, ours were 1990. And so last year I thought about different things, and I always read Ebeneezer Scrooge this time of year. This is one of my finds this year. And this year won't be any different in that aspect, but I know after being sick for a week, some of my plans that I had were kind of changed around for the season. But I did want to tell a story that I had worked out for that what they call Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday. And it was about a time roughly 25 years ago. For comparison's sake, I will be turning 39 in a very few short days, so this is a long time ago. And I remember we had gotten a Thanksgiving basket. Things had been really bad, and my dad had been sick. There had been a lot of stuff that was going on. And I remember when they came by, we were kind of surprised because we didn't know it was coming. And they were unloading on the porch, and I was kind of blocking the doorway because, see, what they did not know was that we had not had utilities for about 35 days, 30 days, something like that. And we were at that very moment waiting for our lights to be turned back on. And it reminds me a little bit about what I do at work every day, because sometimes I realize some of the people I'm in meetings with have never gone through the system at any point in their life, and so they don't realize what the system's like from the inside. And as much as I tell stories, there's many parts that I hope I never know, that I would never claim to know. But that part, needing help to pay a utility bill, I got to see. And that particular year, we did get the help, and we were in my dad had got paid, my mother had got paid. That, along with the help, we were waiting on the lights, and we had paid probably the bare minimum, and probably extensions and arrangements and all of that, those fun things that people had to do. And so we were standing in the porch, like, well, we'll take it in the kitchen for you. And it was like, and I was like, no. And I couldn't come up with a good reason. There was no good reason in my head to tell them, oh no, I can't let you see taking the turkey into the kitchen with no utilities and refrigerator. And I remember thinking about that. But when I think back today, that's not even the most important memory from that experience. And this is the purpose of today's video. When we think about time and what we do, I don't know that the person who stacked that basket will remember picking up the loaf of Sara Lee bread. But I'm 39 years old, and I can tell you right now that that was one of the best loaves of bread that I have ever had in my 39 years. And I can buy Sara Lee bread now, but it don't taste like that. And so when we're spending our times and we're doing what little bit we can, think about that person who donated that little loaf of bread. And I still think about them 20-something years later, 25-something years later. And sometimes maybe our little loaves of bread that we can give people, and everybody has their own amount. Some people, it's a lot more than a loaf of bread. Some people, it might be less than a loaf of bread. But the time and the effort that we spend does not go unnoticed. And I think about Ebeneezer Scrooge with things like that. Because in the Christmas Carol, he had lost all point of reference in time. And 2024 was one of those years that just felt like it was going that way, that there was no point of reference. So take a moment and think about the past, the present, in the future this Christmas. And if you want, follow me over on YouTube, and it's Roaming with Jerry on YouTube. On TikTok, it's Roaming with Jerry R. I'm not going to do as many as I did last year, but this year I may go a few places depending on the weather, with a few better stories than that. But have a good Christmas season and a good week ahead. May we not all lose track of time.